Marketplace is supported by Putnam Investments, recognizing the value of financial advice since 1937. Putnam Investments, a world of investing. Produced in association with the University of Southern California.
The Fed meets tomorrow on interest rates. Not that they're actually going to do anything. Rates are already so low, the Fed is kind of stuck. So the options Mr. Bernanke has on the broadcast today from American Public Media. This is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Yellowbook 360, offering a spectrum of marketing tools for small businesses designed to go beyond yellow. More at yellowbook360.com. And by Progressive Insurance, helping people shop for car insurance at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and progressive.com.
From the Frank Stanton Studios in Los Angeles, I'm Kai Ryssdal. It is Monday today, the 9th of August. Good to have you with us. You know, a Monday in the second week of August often doesn't amount to a hill of beans, economically speaking, except that it is followed by the Tuesday of the second week in August. And that's when the Federal Reserve usually sits down for one of its regular chats about interest rates. Chairman Ben Bernanke will call the Federal Open Market Committee to order tomorrow morning. They'll be done by 2 or so Washington time, at which point we will learn what they think about the American economy and what they're going to do about it. Alice Rivlin knows Fed meetings from the inside out. She spent 3 years as the vice chairman of the Fed. She is now a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution in Washington. Dr. Rivlin, good to have you with us.
Great to be here.
What's the mindset going to be like tomorrow when Mr. Bernanke and his colleagues sit down at that long conference table at the Fed building? What are they going to be thinking about?
I think they're going to be thinking several things at once. Their basic projection is that the economy will get better slowly, but recent news has been discouraging, and so they will certainly be thinking about what do we do if it gets worse.
Well, what do they do? I mean, they've already cut interest rates. They're buying mortgages right and left.
You got it. They don't have very many options.
Oh, good. I feel much better now.
They could buy more mortgages. They could buy more government bonds. That would get more easy money out there into the economy. But the portfolio of the Fed has expanded enormously since the beginning of this crisis. And they wish they were thinking about how to sell some of these things off rather than how to buy more.
What about inflation? I mean, that's the thing that all of the Fed's critics have been saying. You know what? You plow all this money into the economy, it's only going to send inflation spiraling. And yet we're not seeing that. Is there a disconnect between reality and what people are thinking they're going to see?
Yes. People aren't thinking very clearly about that. They learned somewhere back in some economics course that inflation is caused by too much money chasing too few goods. But right now we're not in that situation at all. We could have people spending a lot more before there was any upward pressure on the price level. So fear of inflation is just a silly thing to be afraid of right now.
Well, let me ask you this then. I mean, the policy that you mentioned of the Fed buying up more government debt and more mortgages, it's known as quantitative easing. It's also called printing money by a lot of people. If there is no inflation now, what exactly is wrong with that?
It's something we ought to do if nothing else is working. It's what they have been doing at the depth of the crisis, and arguably it helped. They don't want to do it again, but if they have to, because the economy is going into a double dip, they can.
How constrained is the Fed by the issue of the federal deficit? I mean, you know, Congress is butting heads against that one every single day.
One of the reasons the Fed is somewhat reluctant to buy more government bonds is that looks like feeding future deficits. I don't think that's a real worry, especially the only reason for doing that kind of policy would be that the economy was not recovering. And at that moment, you don't worry about the deficit, not the short-term deficit. But one possibility, if the federal